Hello, my lovelies. So, y'all ready for that first video? And I'm very sorry about how poor of quality this is going to be. Unfortunately, I only have my cell phone. So, that being said, let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, I said that for my first one, we were probably going to only do about one story. But I want to make a little note for you guys. There's a couple of things I'm going to talk about in this one. And I need you to be careful, okay? We are going to talk about a Ouija board. We are going to talk about an actual event where it is paranormal and very hard to deny certain things of it. And we're also going to talk about how when you do mess with things, they do have ramifications. Alright? So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's give you a backstory on this house. I know I've told you guys, at least if you are watching my TikTok, for anybody who's brand new and just seeing my channel, hello there. I would love to just tell you that this is a story of the first time I ever experienced a true, full paranormal apparition. So I moved into my childhood home. Now I say this because it was from this age until about 16, 6 years old. And at 6 years old, it's not uncommon for a little kid to have an imaginary friend. So when I told my mother that the little blonde-haired girl in the blue dress with blue eyes wants to play with me, she didn't really think anything of it. I mean, would you? So, it went on for about maybe 2 years where I played with this little girl daily. And then the best way to put it is that she was, I remember, at least until then, until the event that I'm about to tell you about, she was always playful. Like, in the sense that she just wanted to be where somebody who she felt was her age just paid attention to her. She just wanted a friend. And I think the day that this happened, she realized I was starting to age. And that, unlike her, I wasn't going to stay the little 8-year-old kid that I was at the time. I was going to grow up. She had already watched me have one birthday, and I was about to have another one. And so one night, it was raining, which is why when I tell you what happened next, you won't be surprised when I assumed that it was just rain. So it's raining that night, and it's thunderstorming pretty good. So of course I'm having trouble sleeping. And I wake up where I think I feel water droplets hitting me in the face. The home is older. It was originally the land was a flour mill. Now this is town legend. I have no actual proof, nor have I been ever able to find actual proof of this event. But supposedly, the flour mill that was originally there burnt down. That's not the sad part. You can guess that. The sad part is that the owner's daughter, she died in the fire. You can guess that the parents were pretty devastated. It was supposedly, again, legend or rumor, about a year before the wife took her own life out of grief. So the husband decided to tear down the mill and build what was and is the current home on the lot. And you can kind of tell that by the design of it, he almost built 2 rooms for people who wouldn't need them. They had no doors, nor any way to make them a true room. It was basically 2 like half rooms that you would see as playrooms in most like more expensive homes, and closets. That's it. And a staircase. And a way up to the attic. Now, lucky me, I got the room that was right behind the attic. So in other words, staircase, attic, where you have to jump, bedroom, bedroom. So I'm thinking that the roof because this dripping is dripping on me. And I'm thinking, oh great, mom's gonna be so excited. So I'm getting ready to get up and open my eyes. And as you can guess, I have to have, glasses. I've had them since about second grade. So I'm pretty blind without them. So I go to reach for them. And as soon as I have vision, I look up and realize what the dripping's from. Floating above me is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, in a blue powdered dress that looked like it was about 1920s style, if you know what I mean. Very pretty. Like it looked like it was well taken care of, but not. See, she normally wore that blue dress, but tonight it was shredded in pieces and covered in blood. And from her mouth, she smiled the widest Chelsea grin she could. And then I realized the dripping was the blood from her mouth. So in a hot panic, I run downstairs to our bathroom, which is right next to my mother's room, which is the master bedroom, and start just scrubbing my face. I'm assuming it's covered because I thought there was a pretty good leak going on. By the time my mother gets out of bed and comes to check on me, there's nothing. Not even a pink ting to the sink. Now this was a pearly white sink, by the way. So I think I'm crazy. But I tell her about what happened anyway. Oh, honey, it's probably just a night terror. You can lay in bed with me tonight. So I did. She plagued me about 8 times doing that. But in different ways. Sometimes there would be no blood, and she'd just have this scariest smile, to which she would lunge out and jump down towards me, and I would jump out of bed frightened as hell and run down the stairs. There would be other times where she wasn't quite all in one piece. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm not going to go into detail more than that. Just for the sake of anybody who doesn't want those kind of details. But, yeah. So she plagued me a lot. And for the longest time, I used to think that her father was the figure that I would see standing at the foot of my bed. Yep. From a very young age, I've always seen things. But the one that still stays to this day, and I have to deal with constantly, is what most people call the shadow man. A figure male in shape and size with a top hat. He would loom over my bed. Now, if you come from TikTok, you know what I'm talking about, because I've posted a photo that's probably the closest I've ever seen anybody actually draw to what it feels like to have sleep paralysis. I think I started having sleep paralysis that night. The night she levitated for the first time. She used to like to do that a lot to me, give me sleep paralysis. I think the worst one for me was probably when she made me think that I had snakes crawling all over me that were just contracting. And I thought it was so real, I woke up crying, thinking I was still wrapped up in snakes and that they were going to shred me to pieces soon enough. Yeah, fun, right? So, I still see him. I don't think I'm ever not going to see the Shadow Man. But I think I also know what brought him on. See, it wasn't until much later, because my grandmother had heard my mother talking to me and tried to tell my mother, should we tell her? Well, they didn't until I was about 16, but they did end up telling me the story that they were referring to. See, when we first moved in, my grandmother found in the basement, because pretty much any tenant that had something in the property they didn't want it, just left it in the basement or left it in the attic. There were jars of preserved fruit that were just rotting up there. And if you've ever smelt rotten fruit, you know how bad that gets. So when she was down in the basement, she found a box that had the oddest thing that she just... It started my hatred for Ouija boards, we'll just say that, because it was a Ouija board. But this Ouija board was special, you see. They threw it out once, came back. Threw it out twice, came back. Threw it out third time in a garbage can a mile and a half away. A random garbage can a mile and a half away. She just, it was garbage day, she said. So she just chucked it in the nearest can that was open. It came back. Exact same board. Exact same board. And she knows for a fact because there was a mark, an odd mark, she said. Looked like somebody scratched into the plate, Jeff. That little, thing you use to move around. Yeah. Huh. I think you all can understand. I hate Ouija boards. If you're coming from my TikTok, I don't have to explain it. You've probably heard a bunch of it in my videos. If you're not and this is the first time joining us, hello and welcome. I hope that you either will subscribe or like the video. That would be appreciated. If not, I hope you at least enjoy the video and listening to my crazy paranormal experiences, which hopefully will be more to come. At least, of past ones. I don't necessarily always hope to have a new one, but I digress. Sometimes you don't have a choice. So, pretty much that little girl, until I was about 16, 17, kept showing up. Just not like she used to. She used to come full body. Now, it was like, those moments when small children run past you and they're so quick that you're just like, oh my God, were you even there? It was basically like that all the time. Like, I'd be in my room and I would just be playing on my GameCube. Yeah, I'm old. Don't age me. And I would just see a smaller child run past my door. Now, the insane thing is, the only way that they could have went is to rush into the bathroom, right? And when I got older, my mother kind of let me have the master bedroom instead. And I can't tell you how many times I heard something in our bathroom that I'll never be able to explain. Like, so many times. But, oof, I'm just... Ouija boards aren't something to mess with. That's all I'm going to keep saying. I'll say that through every video. And I hope that you guys are not foolish enough to break some very cardinal rules. 1, never play alone. Ever. 2, now this is an important one. Never, ever ask, is there somebody who wants to talk? You're opening a channel, no matter what you do with that Ouija board, okay? When you open it fully and let it just blast through, you won't know what's coming back at you, okay? And now, the third one, this is important because very few people, when they have a panic moment, remember this. Always say hello and goodbye, okay? Hello is to initiate and to start. Although, again, I do not suggest anybody uses a Ouija board because honestly, it's very foolish. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. I have, and if you want to hear those experiences, I'm more than welcome to share. And if there's any questions that you feel that I can answer for all of you guys, I'm more than happy to as well. I need to just have you guys understand that these These are not toys. I understand they sell them as toys, but they are not toys. They are not something as young as that. Alright? That a Ouija board is far older. And if you look up spirit board, you'll be able to see just what I'm talking about. Okay? Always do your research, guys. It helps. Now back to that story. So basically, my grandmother has this Ouija board keep coming back to her over and over and over again. And she basically had where she brought a priest in. Had him do holy water and blessing all over the house. Hoping that it either slows down or stops all the activity. It didn't. So she goes on to the next step in her mind and contacts a medium. The medium tells her the entire story that I told you guys of how, the mill was what it was, how the family lost their loved one, and how she was haunting. She also said that she saw a male, but she didn't understand if he was good or bad. Good or bad. Funny about that. I already told you guys that he used to sit at the foot of my bed. So when you see a very tall man in a top hat with no face, no features, just black, standing there every night, you start to get on edge. And I think him, whatever he was, and I still think he's with me, he likes to just make you feel mad, make you feel sad, make you feel all these different emotions all at once. It's crazy. But you can live through it, and you can survive it. That's what you got to do. So, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the backstory to being able to know what happened with the little girl. And there are a couple more stories with her. Most of them are just stuff being moved, and I think there's one more big story that I'll tell you guys about. But I just hope that you guys all enjoyed this video and that it was what you were hoping and expecting from my first video. For anybody who's new to the channel that's just joining in, I hope you join our little group that I'm hopefully going to have soon here on YouTube. And I hope that you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever this video finds you. And until we talk again, I love you all, my darlings.